Hello everyone, my name is Ruth Prigustia, and now I would like to answer some questions that Mr. Harry gave us on the Schoology. And now let's get started. The first one, what is online learning? Explain also synchronous and asynchronous learning. Online learning is a kind of learning activities using platform for students as the place where the learning process happens. Online learning in the 21st century means that students can perform better on average than those taking the same through traditional face-to-face instruction. There are two kinds of learning. The first one is synchronous learning and asynchronous. The second one is asynchronous learning. Synchronous learning means that things are happening at the same time. Teacher and learners are communicating within the same time frame. It means students and teacher are online at the same time in the specific hours to do synchronous classes. All of the students must be online at the exact time in order to participate in the class. The second type is asynchronous learning. Asynchronous learning means that things are happening at different times. Asynchronous learning is more flexible than real-time learning because in the asynchronous learning, the teacher doesn't set time period. So the students can complete their work on their own time. Students are given time frame during which they need to connect to their class at least once or twice. The good news is in the asynchronous courses, you could hit the book no matter what hours or of day or night that you want. And then next, the second question. What are the basic features of an LMS? Please explain. There are 8 basic features of an LMS. The first one is announcements. The second one is syllabus. The third one is lessons. Next is discussion forums. Next, Dropboxes, and then resources. Next is gradebook, and the last is course email. Announcements. So announcements usually the first thing that appear when the students try to open the LMS. As you can see in the example, Mr. Harry gave us an announcement. So when we open the Schoology, we will show it first, and then we can next to the next tab. And usually teacher give the students important updates in the announcement. The next is syllabus. After reading the course announcements, the students review the course syllabus. The syllabus feature is an essential component of the course environment. It provides structure for the course and outlines course expectations. When students enter your course for the first time, they should review the syllabus to familiarize students themselves with the course requirements. Next is lessons. Students review the week by week or unit by unit course lessons. Online lessons replace the lectures, discussions, and activities that may take place in an on-site classroom. The lessons are the core instructional containers for your course. So you may post a lesson for each unit of instruction. The lessons should lead the students through the course's learning outcomes. Next is discussion forum. Students go to the discussion forums to participate in the online class discussion. The forums features is an asynchronous communication tool that allows for the exchange of ideas through the use of message board format. The structure of most discussion forums based on participants' ability to post messages or reply to messages posted by other participants. Communication between participants is initiated when someone, usually the moderator, posts a topic or question for discussion. Based upon this first post, participants begin to communicate with one another by responding to the original post or to the post of other participants. Discussion forums are used to promote conversations between student and the teacher. Next is drop boxes or assignment upload. To submit assignments, the teacher may require the students to upload their documents to an online Dropbox or the assignment section of the LMS. A Dropbox is a digital space in which documents, presentations, links to websites, and more can be uploaded by the students and accessed by the teacher. You may create and use a Dropbox to have students submit and store assignments and projects for group or instructor review. Next is resources. In an online course, digital course readings and references are organized in a section commonly referred to as resources. The resources feature stores all types of digital and online materials that students are required to review, including readings, websites, games, images, sounds, recordings, and video. To enable easy to access to these resources, the teacher may provide links to them within the lessons. In addition, other resources may just appear within the lessons themselves. This is especially true for short video and audio clips and images. Next is gradebook. The teacher uses the online gradebook to communicate grades and feedback to learners. The gradebook feature is a tool that displays students' attendance, participations, readings, assignments, and project grades. This feature enables the teacher and the students to review and track academic progress throughout the semester. Next is course email. The teacher may use the course mail feature to send out important messages to the students. This is similar to course announcements. Mail can be sent to individual students or the entire class. It can be more time sensitive than announcements since students probably check their email more frequently than they go to their online class. The third question. As an online course teacher, give an example of a good introduction writing for one topic meeting. Please explain. Now here, I give you an example that I screenshot from the Schoology, and this is the introduction from Mr. Harry. And here, we will know some criteria to make a good introduction for one topic meeting. The first one, you need to greet your students because it is the way of politeness, and that's the good structure to greet them first. And the second one is you need to tell your students about the courses that you teach, and you can also provide the purposes of the course, so students can prepare themselves about when they get the courses. And next is you can show several things that you want to discuss in the one topic meeting and also provide the resources. When you already want to make your students discuss with their friends, you need to provide the topic that you want them discuss and also the resources in order to help your students in discussion time. And the last thing is you need to give the closing statement. That's the one of the important thing, because you at the first you greet them, you give them a good greeting, and also you need to greet them, and also you need to give them a closing statement in the end. Next, the fourth question: why online materials must be attractive? What elements are needed? Please give an example. The first one is why online materials must be attractive. Online materials must be attractive because online materials has a flexibility in access. The learner will access it everywhere and anytime. So the teacher need to make it attractive and also make it interested enough so the learners can access it with comfortably, and they will not easily to get bored. There are some elements are needed to make the materials attractive. The first one is rationale for good visual design. Good visual design supports understanding through simplicity, clarity, and organization. Nothing in the design of the page is distracts from communication. An open, clear, attractive page design enhances communication. The second one is visual design online. When working online, we must keep in mind that content presented in text is visual as well. This text is different from for the text in the books because online text replaces speaking through a medium that is perceived of as being visual. The next uh, the next elements is page layout. In the page layout, there are some tools that you need to know. The first one is spaces surrounding text. Text. The space between lines and paragraphs provides white space. It gives the reader a visual break. The space between paragraphs should be noticeably deeper than the space between lines. The second one is line length. Research show that uh, reading uh, reading slows as line length begin to exceed the ideal width because the reader then needs to use the muscles of the eye or neck to track from the end of one line to the beginning of the next line. The point is, when the lines of text are too long, it is difficult to read. The next is justification. Always use just left justified text with right margins as we have in this guide. And next is headings and subheadings. Headings and subheadings signal the organization of the content. Each of the examples above has a specific size, typeface, and or thickness assigned to it. As headings are generally left justified, like the text, headings and subheadings organize the content and should be used consistently. The next element is text. In the text, you can see some tools also, and the first one is typefaces. The first two typefaces listed here, Georgian and Times New Roman, are serif typefaces. This means that there is more detail in the form of serifs. Serifs are small, tail-like extensions that you find on some of the letters. Also, the thickness of the lines may vary in a serif typeface. It has been argued that serif typefaces are more readable on paper because the detail may help to define the letters. Other typefaces such as Arial and Helvetica are sans serif, without serif, typefaces. These are simple in form. They tend to be more readable online because the resolution is lower. Small details such as serifs may be unclear online. The next tool of text is type size. Type size is another important factor in online readability. They recommend that you use at least 12-point type for online. The next tool is bold and italic. Bold type can be used very effectively for emphasis when used sparingly. Italic is generally used for titles of works and for instances when words are used in unusual way. Italic type is more difficult to read online because of resolution. The next tool is underlining. In an online environment, underlining is used only for hyperlinks. Next is avoid using all caps. All caps should only be used for acronyms. Avoid using them for emphasis. They are not as readable as lowercase letters because they are more uniform in size. And the next is color. Color can make an impact if it is used with care. However, keep in mind that contrast is an important factor in readability. Diminish the contrast and you diminish readability. Color type is also good for emphasis. A dark color type used for hats and can make them pop up. The next element is graphic elements. In the graphic elements, you can see some tools also. The first one is some symbols and icons. Symbols and icons can be very useful in signaling small elements in a website that appear over and over again. And the next is bullets and numbering. Use bullets or numbers to set apart times that can be listed. Numbers are used to identify sequential steps in a task or processes. Next is visual design basic in online class. You can follow most of these standards we've laid out of the four type: justifications, headings, bullets, and numbers fairly easily. The next is number 5. Please explain types of online learning activities and provide relevant technological tools for the types. Okay, here the first one is class discussion. In the class discussion, we can use discussion forum. Class discussion in the discussion forum is one of the ways to give the students opportunities and participate in the online class. Here, teacher can give any topics and let the students discuss it through discussion forum, and teacher just need to pay attention to the discussion in order to see how well the discussion happen. Next is journal writing. In journal writing, you can use blog. In an online course, there are several ways for teacher to assess how well students understand assigned readings. One technique is for students to complete a reading and then reflect upon it afterwards. Students can summarize their interpretation of the reading and relate it to prior knowledge and understanding. By using blog, students are able to express themselves more freely. Next is shared knowledge base. We can use Wikipedia here. Wikipedia is an example of how a wiki is used to support the ongoing contributions to an online encyclopedia. A wiki encyclopedia is not a static set of information. By using wiki, the students can do a collaboration to share any knowledge. Next is practice exercises. They need to have exercises in order to know how to understand this. They are in learning. There are four types of exercises. The first one is multiple choice, and the second one is matching, and the third one is fill in the blank. The next is projects. Let the students work in a group is one of the best ways to develop their ability and knowledge. They can do online presentation or a research project or paper. Here I give you an example in the project paper. The next is receptive activities. They can find resources that they can see as one of the way to learn. So here I give you some example. Like from PowerPoint or from YouTube, or you can find it from PDF or podcast. The sixth question is online discussion is one important element in online learning. Sometimes it may not work well. How does a teacher optimize discussion? Okay, discussion can be an excellent strategy for enhancing student motivation, fostering intellectual agility, and encouraging democratic habits. They create opportunities for students to practice and sharpen a number of skills, including the ability to articulate and defend positions, consider different points of view, and analyze and evaluate evidence. There are several factors that teachers need to consider it when they do planning discussion. The first one is cognitive factors. Cognitive factors are determine and communicate learning objective, plan a strategy, execute questions, provide direction, and maintain focus. And this one is bring closer. The next factors is physical factors. You need to creating a setting conducive for discussion. And the last factors is social factors. You need to demonstrate relevance, encourage participation, make high quality participation count, and evaluate the discussion. The seventh question, please provide an example of a learning resource that can be used to engage learners in online learning. The example of this, I used text-based supplemental resources. So in many fields, texts are the core category for online supplemental resources. But choose a real-world text resources support and enrich teacher-made and textbook content. In a classroom setting, such resources have generally been delivered to students in the form of handouts and reference materials. Ideally, they are accessible in an authentic format. Here are some examples of text-based resources like quotes, literary reviews, and critics. The next question. Okay, this is the A question. Kindly give an example of effective assessment in English online teaching and learning. You can pick one of the integration of more than one language skill. Okay, this is I give you a sample of scoring rubrics. So there are three major dimensions to the online course evaluation rubric. The first one is structure. In the structure, you need to see the context, organization, or environment. And the second major is you see the content. In the content, provide the presentation of the information. The third major is processes. You can see the human aspects or the relationship or interaction or quality. Next question, the ninth question. What are the basic elements to consider when building an online course? Please explain. Okay, there are 4 basic elements. The first one is learning outcomes, the second one is the online syllabus, the third one is the course outline, and the last is from course outline to lessons. Okay, learning outcomes. Learning outcomes are the core of a process that creates courses and programs that follow through on their promises. There are some rationales for using outcomes like all the standards below. The first one is learning outcomes are measurable and specific. The second one is the wording used to define learning outcomes is clear and definite. And the third one is course material is sufficient and directly related to learning outcomes. The fourth one is resources and activities support learning outcomes. And the last is assessments determine the degree to which the learner have achieved the required learning outcomes. For the second basic element is the online syllabus. An online syllabus contains many of the same elements as an on-set syllabus. The basic categories include course title, course name, course description, course objectives, evaluation plan, grading, required readings, recommended readings, and course outline. Outline syllabus include additional items that are specific to online needs. This include a communication strategy, a clear description of the course time frame and format, technical requirements and support, and the last is a detailed course outline with start and end dates. The third basic element is the course outline. The online course outline is a calendar and a to-do list and presents a sequence of events, assignments, readings, activities, and course deliverables. The last basic element is from course outline to lesson. A good place to start is by considering these 3 areas. The first one, begin with the learning outcomes. The first in this case might be students will be able to outline the qualities of an effective promotional slide presentation on a given product. And the second one is working backwards. You need to plan out what assessment you will need to assure that the learning outcomes have been met. The students will be graded on how well they do on the project. And the third one is next, using the assessments as the measure of your content. You need to lay out the knowledge, skills and steps needed to enable the students to succeed at the final project in this slide. In this case, creating the professional slideshow. Do this unit by unit within the course, lesson by lesson within each unit, and finally step by step within each section. At this point, you should have all the background knowledge, include content elements which are presented in a logical sequence. Okay, we come to the last question. Please give an example of one online lesson in your class for one meeting. Okay, I give you an example from Schoology, and this is by Mr. Harry too. This is in here. He gave us a comprehension check section. So this is the way how to make an online lesson for one meeting in the LMS. As you can see, teacher will grade the students at the first, and then teacher gives the students objective tasks. In this example, teacher gives some questions to the student. After that, teacher gives rules of the submit the task, and also don't forget to put the due date clearly. In the end, teacher can give an example and also the closing statement. Okay, that's all. I already answered all of the questions that Mr. Harry gave, so I hope you understand about my explanation, and also apologize me if I do some mistakes or I just speak too fast. I'm so sorry because I'm so nervous. Okay, thank you so much for watching me. Goodbye.